Sunday, it's Formula One Sunday yet again. Canadian Grand Prix. This is one of my favorite races of the season, I have to say. Now, hard to know what we're going to get today. I guess there's a very high probability that we'll get a Verstappen win. But regardless of that, it doesn't look like it's raining for the race. We had a lot of rain for practice. We had a lot of rain for qualifying. Actually, one of the practice sessions we had CCTV issues as well. So uh, it, I think it's fair to say that a lot of the drivers haven't had the dry weather testing or practice around the circuit that they need. Perhaps they're set up a little bit more for the wet weather. Anyhow, I think one thing is for certain: Max Verstappen is in with a very, very, very good chance of winning this race. Now, you may have noted my predictions for this race. So, prediction: Max Verstappen is going to win the race. That's an easy prediction. So that's a nailed on prediction for pretty much every race these days. But then I'm saying that the wish is for Fernando Alonso to win. Of course, we want to see Alonso win a race. It's been a while, and dark horse. This is going to sound like a weird one, but my dark horse for this race is Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton hasn't won a race in quite a while. He starts in third place, so I know he doesn't quite fit the criteria of being a dark horse just on that basis alone, but I think Hamilton, relative to the Aston Martin and the Red Bull, wouldn't be fancied, but he could do something today. So, um, we of course have George Russell in fourth place as well. Maybe I should give George Russell the dark horse. I just think Hamilton has that little bit extra this season. He was a little bit out of sorts with the car last season, but now he knows the car is a bit better this season. And accordingly, he seems to be putting in better performances, I would say. I would argue at least. Anyway, we're getting ready to go soon. We should have our tracker and everything else like that up and running soon as well. I'll just make sure we have everything set up on my side here. Do. Softest compounds in the Pirelli range as well. So we're looking at a two-stop strategy, more than likely. Time will tell, though. Time will tell. I'll get the grid up on the screen now in a second, and we can have a look at that as well. So the big question is, how are you all doing today? What are your thoughts on this race? Is this a slam dunk for Max Verstappen yet again? Or is he going to come under pressure from somebody else? We've mentioned Alonso, we've mentioned Hamilton, we've mentioned Russell. Perhaps somebody a little lower down. Does Hulkenberg have a chance? Probably not. Probably not. He would have had a much better chance if he was starting in second place, and unfortunately he was speeding pretty much under the red flag, and as a result, yeah, we all know he got put back 3 positions, so he's actually starting in fifth place. Still a great qualifying session for the Haas driver. Now, as I said, let's get this grid up on the screen and have a look at this. So now we are starting with Verstappen on pole position. Maybe I'll do it the other way around. So Zhou is starting in 20th, Sonoda 19th, Sargeant 18th, De Vries is in 17th, Stroll a disappointing 16th for him. This is his home race, of course. Gasly is in 15th, Bottas 14th, Magnussen 13th, Perez starts in 12th place, Sainz starts in 11th, Leclerc starts in 10th. So that's quite a group of drivers there. Albon starts in 9th, Piastri 8th, Norris 7th, Ocon 6th. It's Hulkenberg then in 5th, Russell in 4th, Hamilton in 3rd, Alonso in 2nd, and Verstappen is in 1st place, starting on pole position. And I just wanted to make comment about, let me see, Gasly in 15th. Of course, Gasly got very badly blocked when he was trying to do his flying lap, and as a result completely missed out on Q2, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, he missed out on Q2 as a result of that. So definitely not ideal for Pierre Gasly. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Lance Stroll as well, so far back there on his home race. I know he picked up a bit of a penalty as well, but his qualifying in general wasn't very good. Yeah, we'll just have to see what he can do. Is a good circuit for overtaking. That's a certainty, and he has a very fast car. So down to you, Lance. And actually, when he starts further back on the grid, we usually have a lot of entertainment because he is always involved in overtakes, and sometimes they're a little bit dodgy as well. Oh, yeah. I was just looking back at the formation lap here is starting. I was looking back at highlights from previous years. I can't believe that the 2007 race was the one where we saw that huge crash for Robert Kubica. Now, thankfully, he survived, but he was out of racing for quite a while as a result of that crash. If you haven't seen that, I would definitely recommend you look it up on YouTube, but not if you're of a squeamish disposition with regards to crashes. But the more amazing part is then the year later, 2008, he came back to claim his first ever victory in Formula One. Actually, he took the lead of the World Championship by winning that race, and that was the Canadian Grand Prix 1 year later. So it's amazing. That bad experience certainly didn't put him off, and it made him push a little bit harder. Now, I have a team radio here for Sergio Perez.
Okay, Chico, so everyone in front of you on the medium. Magnussen and Bottas directly behind on the hard, Gasly on the soft. And then, everyone else on the medium.
Interesting. All right, so everybody else is starting on the medium tires. Let's have a look at the pit strategy then. There's a two-stopper coming up. Those starting on the medium tire would switch. Let's say the window here is lap 15 to 22 for another set of medium tires potentially. Then later on in the race, they could switch for hard tires. No, they'd take hard tires for their first and second stops. Looking at this, there's no danger of anybody not having dry weather tires left over after the last couple of days. Let's just add that. So everybody has a number of tires here, and it's possible that they could put on medium tires for the second stint as well, as you can see here on the third swim lane on this scenario chart. Now they're coming around onto the grid. So we're getting ready to go here. We're getting ready to go. As I said, I really like the Canadian Grand Prix. It's usually a very, very good one. So now, it looks like Gasly is on the soft tire. Is that correct? That's amazing. Gasly is starting on the soft tire. Okay, well, we'll see what type of strategy that works out. This is the softest of the soft, by the way. Now, just waiting for the lights to come on here. Final car coming around. This is Guan Yu Zhou, and he'll be lining up any second now. Not everybody is in their grid marking just yet. Nice onboard camera here with Perez. You see the vibration of the car as he's getting ready to rocket away from the line at some point. Green flag. Yeah, they're giving the green flag now. Waving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And off they go, and it looks like a very good start for Verstappen, and a very good start for Hamilton as well. Hamilton's got the jump on Alonso. Russell looks like he's bogged down a little bit here. Oh, now Russell will try around the outside on Alonso. Russell might actually get this. It's a great start from Hamilton, though. That's the big news here. Good start from Hamilton, and Alonso has managed to hold on to third place. Russell doesn't get by him, and looks like that's Ocon. Well, Ocon started in 5th, so he's remained in 5th place. All right, good start then for those guys. Looks like a pretty clean start for everybody. I see one of the Ferraris, it's Leclerc. He's up into 9th, so that's a good start for Leclerc. Perez is 11th, Sainz is 12th, so a bad start for Sainz by the looks of it. And Sainz now is making the move on Perez, and he's run across the curb. There. And Perez got the position back. I don't think Sainz could have held on to that because he took the curb. He's going to try around the outside here on the hairpin now. No, it's not going to work. And Stroll is making a move as well on Gasly. He's going to try to. It's very busy back there. There's a lot of cars battling each other. This is exactly what we love to see. Now Alonso must be annoyed at having lost that position. Hülkenberg has gone off the track. He's had to take the escape road. I don't know if he's lost a position. He's currently classed in 6th place. Yeah, he's still in 6th. So he's kept his position. Really good for Hülkenberg. But that was, he got run off the track there by somebody. He had to take avoiding action. Yes, indeed he did. All right, well, this has been a good, clean start, I have to say. A really good, clean start. We have team radio for Yuki Tsunoda. Let's listen in and see what his issue is. Box for Tsunoda. Okay, he must have picked up some damage. I can see, yeah, he's running in last bit. Well, it's saying he's out at the moment. Could that be true? Is he out? No, he's still running on the tracker at least. So he's just far behind. He must have picked up some damage. We haven't a replay of this yet. Now, on board here with Leclerc, he's putting the pressure on Norris. He's about half a second, 0.6 of a second behind. We don't have DRS just yet, so he'll have to do it the old-fashioned way. Albon is right on his tail as well. The Williams, the upgrades have been working really well for them. They've got good speed here this weekend. Very good speed. Fastest first sector for Max Verstappen. He's set the fastest lap of the race. Second sector, fastest one, goes to Hamilton. But it's Verstappen that's actually set the fastest lap here. But Hamilton looks quick. He looks quick. He was 0.3 of a second slower than Verstappen that time around, despite setting the fastest second sector. Now, team radio for Lance Stroll.
Okay, Tsunoda has pitted for hard already. That's hard to the end, probably.
Okay, hard to the end. They're saying, yeah, that seems to be the accepted strategy here. Hard. Funnily enough, the hard compound they're using at this race would probably be a medium tire at other races. Now, this is an onboard with Sergio Perez from the start, and he's just tucked in behind Leclerc. Leclerc just got past Albon there, and he wasn't able to go with him. It's nice. And then Sainz tries to get past Perez, gets the move done. And somehow, that was Magnussen, actually. It wasn't Hulkenberg that was run off the track, so that was good to see that replay. He didn't hit the brakes in time. He seemed to run very deep into that corner, almost ran into the back of Perez. It's 1.1 seconds now, the gap between Verstappen and Hamilton. First to second place. First to second. Right. Alonso has just set the fastest lap at 1:17.4. That was 0.3 faster than Hamilton and Verstappen. Last lap around. Maybe Alonso has woken up. He's 2.2 seconds back from Hamilton, though, so Hamilton has already gapped him a little bit. What happened to Yuki Tsunoda, though? That's the question. So he has gotten back to the pits, and he's put on hard tires that we've heard. Okay, plan A for George Russell. Oh, Alonso just hit the wall. He's okay. Well, we think he's okay. But he ran a little bit wide and tapped the side of the tires against the wall. Hopefully he doesn't have suspension damage. But that wasn't even the Wall of Champions, was it? Was that the Wall of Champions? For those of you that don't know, in Canada they have what they call the Wall of Champions. It's that final chicane before you come across the start-finish line. And over the years, it has claimed many a world champion. I don't know if Alonso has ever hit that wall, though. Here is Lando Norris team radio.
Lando, we think this is more Plan A. Plan A looking to extend.
Plan A. Whatever Plan A is, of course, they won't tell us that, will they? No, of course not. Why would they tell us that? Why would they? 1.7 seconds now, the gap between Verstappen and Hamilton. Hamilton is doing pretty well here. Lap 5, you would expect Verstappen to have put 5 seconds on everyone else. But no, now look at this. Look at Alonso's gone so close to the back of Hamilton. So did I just jinx Hamilton by saying he's doing really well? And yeah, Leclerc is trying to get the move done on Norris. Piastri is actually ahead of Norris now. However, he managed that. So good going by Piastri there. But we don't know what's happened to Yuki Tsunoda. And Magnussen, of course, got run off the circuit a little bit, but everybody else has had a relatively clean start. Of course, Alonso has clipped the wall. Alonso now, he's a gap of 6 tenths, 7 tenths, let's say, back to, or ahead to, whatever the terminology is for that, between himself and Hamilton. So I think it'll be soon now. He's going to try something on Hamilton. We've Alex Albon, Team Radio. So Albon is running in 10th at the moment.
Feedback on tyres when you can.
Feels thermal, but it's just this traffic.
Yeah, he's definitely caught up in a big group of traffic there. I can't even tell you where the traffic jam starts. We have all the way from Ocon, basically. We have, let's do a rundown. So Verstappen is leading. Hang on, we're on board here with Hamilton. Alonso. Alonso trying to get the move on Hamilton. No, he hasn't been able to close in on him at all. That's surprising. I thought the Mercedes struggled a little bit for straight line speed this year, but then again, the Aston Martin also has a Mercedes engine, so maybe it's more engine than aero based, the struggles that they're having. Verstappen is predicting that the tires are a little bit more vulnerable than in free practice 2. I wonder if that means the degradation is higher. Okay, did I play the Alex Albon Team Radio? Let's listen.
Feedback on tyres when you can.
Feels thermal, but it's just this traffic.
We did. We heard that one already. Okay, I just wasn't sure. Rundown. Verstappen leads. Hamilton is in second. Alonso is in third. Ooh, yellow flag, sector 2. Logan Sargeant has an issue. Stop the car. Okay, he's out of the race, so they've told him to stop the car. That was, of course, Latifi's car last year, so if Latifi was in the race this year, he might have stopped now. Be bad news for the Canadian home crowd. Of course, Latifi, as we call him, isn't in the Formula 1 Championship this year, unfortunately. Now, still yellow flags. I expect if he stopped the car, depends where it is. There could be a virtual safety car coming up here. I haven't spotted anything yet. They haven't shown us a shot. Okay, that's where he is. So Verstappen will be coming up upon him soon. Virtual safety car confirmed. Okay, there we go. Virtual safety car. Verstappen, as you can see, is our race leader. There's finally a shot of that. So what's going on there? There's a lot of smoke coming out the radiators. It could be an engine issue. Pit stops, plus 9 seconds time lost under the safety car or virtual safety car. So is this an opportunity for some people to make a pit stop? It's only lap 8, so I'm not sure. Maybe Gasly on the soft tire. This is the opportunity that he needs, but it looks like they'll have that car cleared away very soon. Now, here's the onboard with Logan Sargeant. Just listen. No, it just lost power. Of course, they told him pretty promptly to stop car. There's a few puddles of water there as well. It's not raining, but there was a little bit of rain around earlier in Canada, per my understanding, the Montreal region. We're back in racing. Virtual safety car is gone. We're back in racing, and now Alonso is really close to the back of Hamilton here. No, once again, he's not able to get close enough to him. No DRS, I think. No, they do have DRS because I can see that Leclerc is trying to use it on Norris. Piastri's gotten past Hülkenberg, so Hülkenberg is down into 7, but Piastri himself has made it up into 6th. Norris will definitely want to get a piece of Hülkenberg next up as well, and he would be really not happy with the Ferrari challenging him. However, the good news is he's going to have DRS. He's going to have DRS, so that's good news for him. Lewis Hamilton Team Radio. Let's listen in.
Yeah, tyres are getting super hot. Struggling. Okay, copy. So the car stopped. It's off track.
All right. Well, fastest lap for Lewis Hamilton coming up, more than likely, if he's complaining about the tyres. We all know your secret code at this stage, Lewis. We all know it. Verstappen leads. Hamilton's in second. Alonso third. Russell fourth. Ocon fifth. Piastri sixth. Hülkenberg seventh. Norris eighth. Leclerc 9th, Albon 10th, Sainz 11th, Perez 12th, Gasly 13th, Stroll 14th, Magnussen 15th, Bottas 16th, De Vries 17th, Zhou 18th, Tsunoda 19th, and Sargeant, unfortunately, is out of the race. So, yeah, I've got to see. Sainz, Perez, Gasly, Stroll, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. That's quite a battle there, but they're all outside of the points. All outside. This is, for Perez, this is really not good. Perez was our only hope for a championship battle this year, and he's fallen off again. He's just not consistent enough. That's the problem with Perez. When he's on it, but yeah, sometimes he's just fallen off the pace completely, and this must be his third race in a row now where he's just not been on it at all, and basically his championship challenge is gone in these last 3 races. Absolutely gone. He's no hope now. Alonso team radio.
So you and Russell have DRS. Russell 0.8, Hamilton 0.9.
All right, so Russell has DRS on Alonso, and Alonso in turn has DRS on Hamilton, although he's just slipped over a second now, his gap. So this is bad news for Alonso because Russell will definitely try to get past him. Russell does not take no for an answer. Alonso is back within DRS range. Let's see if he gets it here down the back straight. I'm not seeing that DRS open, but it's a far camera angle. It looks like he didn't have it. No, he didn't have it. Russell does have it though. So DRS is not amazingly powerful here by the looks of it. So tires are turning into a very big issue from what we're hearing here for a lot of drivers now. So we could have a massively different strategy here that the cars will need to employ, our two or three stop race. Now, good news, as I said earlier, they have a ton of tires left over because they hardly used any dry weather tires over the course of the weekend. They're really, as in, I didn't even prepare a graphic to show how many tires everybody has left because they just have so many. It was different, at the last race where only a handful of cars had fresh soft tires. Everybody has pretty much their main allocation of soft, medium, and hard tires that they brought to the race weekend. Very few of those were used at all. Very few. Now, Hamilton is about 4 seconds behind Verstappen. Alonso is 6/10 behind. Russell has dropped away for some reason. Verstappen thinks he's hit a bird. Please don't show us that. Now, if he did hit a bird, though, did it go into any of the air outlets? Oh, Norris tries on Magnussen. Not Magnussen, Hülkenberg. Hülkenberg dives into the pits, though. You can't overtake me, Lando Norris. You're not going to overtake me. I'm going to overtake myself. Well, no, I'm going to go for a pit stop. So he didn't actually get the move done. He would have gotten the move done, in fairness. So that's clear track now ahead for Norris. He has 3 seconds up the road to his teammate. And it's clear track as well for Leclerc if he can get through here. So now Norris doesn't have DRS. Leclerc does have DRS. Sainz is half a second behind Albon, but Albon is going to have DRS on Leclerc. Let me just double check that. I'm seeing comments here that there's a safety car. It's Russell. Russell's hit the wall. No safety car on screen yet, but I think it's to be expected. Oh, George, what have you done? Thank God I didn't make you my dark horse. I'd be looking pretty stupid right now. Oh, goodness. Let's get a replay on this. What the heck happened to George Russell? That's just disappointing. That's disappointing. There could have been a heck of a race on there between Alonso, Russell, and Hamilton. But Verstappen, safety car's out. Verstappen's in the pits. Hamilton's in the pits. Alonso's in the pits. Can Alonso jump Hamilton in the pits? We're going to find out here. Okay, good stop for Verstappen, 2.3 seconds. Hamilton is Hamilton slowed down here. 3.2, 2.3. Oh, they almost make contact. But Hamilton just about gets out in front of Alonso here. Whoa, that was a good one. Hard tires for all three of them. Leclerc and Sainz are 4th and 5th. Guys, you need to pit. Come on, Ferrari, for God's sakes. Jeepers. Ferrari, Get into the pits already. Ocon is in the pits. Magnussen has moved up because he hasn't pitted. Chaos. Chaos. Now, on board here with George Russell. He just took too much curb into the chicken. Ouch. Oh, I think there's going to be big damage to the car. Be surprised now if he hasn't broken 2 suspensions, front and rear, on this car. Oh, and he makes such heavy contact with the back first, and then it swings around to the front. Yeah, and he goes on the team radio to swear, basically. Well, I would do the same, I have to say. I would do the same. I really and truly would. Is that an unsafe release for Hamilton? Could be an unsafe release, you know. If Alonso had kept going, would he have crashed? I think so. Now, Alonso, he's a wily old fox. He certainly made the most out of it. But, Hamilton and Alonso has been noted for an unsafe release. I don't know. We have a team radio here for Max Verstappen. Let's listen to this.
I think I hit a bird.
Yeah, that's where he hit the bird. Russell is in the pits now. They think they've fixed the car. So a new front wing on. Fresh set of tyres. Fresh set of boots. And off he goes. Off he goes. Right. That was seriously heavy contact with the wall. I'm very surprised that he can keep going here. Very, very surprised. I've seen Fernando Alonso team radio.
I have to brake on the pit. You had to brake there, yeah, it looked pretty dangerous to me.
Yeah, well, Alonso making the most of that. So an unsafe release for Alonso, for Hamilton, actually, as the case may be. And I thought that was Alonso's chance to get past Hamilton, but no, not this time. We'll see what the stewards have to say about it. Another unsafe release there now. Somebody in front of Alex Albon. That will have been... my timing screens have all disappeared. Who's ahead of Albon at the moment? That was Norris. So Norris could potentially be in trouble as well. Let's put it this way. If Hamilton's in trouble, then Norris is in trouble as well. So this could be the Canadian Grand Prix out to get all the Brits. Goodness. Sean Ogue, welcome back. How are you doing? You've missed all the action, Sean Ogue. Russell has bombed it into the wall, but he's still running somehow. That Mercedes is made out of tough stuff. That's my conclusion from this. Right, so safety car is still out there. Yeah, there's damage to the barrier. I don't know what else they're going to do now. We haven't received any message yet that the safety car is coming in. Team radio for Russell, I assume they're going to have beeped out everything.
And just feedback on the car. It's a bit bent, but I think it's okay.
He must have a bent suspension. Definitely must have a bent suspension. It's absolutely got to have bent the suspension. I'm surprised he didn't break the back, the rear and the front suspension in that accident. Like he made so much contact with the wall. Such heavy contact with the wall. E.T. Ranger, how are you doing? It's been a while. Welcome back. Now, let me see. Perez hasn't pitted. No, Perez didn't pit. So he was running in, if I remember correctly, he was running in 12th place before the incident. And he had Leclerc... No, he had Sainz just ahead of him. So Sainz hasn't pitted either. And Leclerc hasn't pitted. I got to say, Ferrari, you're both running on medium tires. I really think that's the wrong strategy. I do. It's very easy to second guess a Ferrari strategy, of course, but I really think that's the wrong strategy. Yeah, Sean Ogue, the classic question. Who's going to come in P2 in this race? Because Verstappen's going to win. Well, Hamilton and Alonso is going to be a great fight. And based on everything I've seen so far, we're only 15 out of 70 laps into the race. That Mercedes usually comes alive towards the end of the race. I fancy Hamilton to get one over here I fancy Alonso to get one over here on Hamilton. So, I'm giving it to Alonso, but let's see what happens. I'd love to get excited about those Ferraris in 4th and 5th, but what's the point? What's the point? They should have pitted. They should have pitted. They're just they're basically they're into the pit window now as well, and they haven't pitted. So Leclerc, what's he going to see? I don't care, Ferrari. Okay, so they just told Leclerc that warm up on the hard tires is harder than expected. They're expecting kind of a 1 second delta. And as a result, he should be ready to try and overtake a few. Well, I'm paraphrasing here. He should be ready to try and overtake a few of the cars in front. But what's the point? He's just going to have to pit in a couple of laps anyway. So I don't know. Safety car. Apparently, a safety car will be in soon. Just waiting for the message to come up here on the screen. Yeah, it would be great to see Hamilton and Verstappen get feisty again. That would be that would be good. By feisty, yes, I do mean crash into each other. But then it's a clean sweep for Alonso. I suppose Perez is technically in the mix, but he hasn't pitted either. So this brings Perez back into the top 10, and I've no doubt he'll end in the points at the end of this race. But yeah, by not pitting, he puts himself at a serious disadvantage here. I need to have a check on who exactly did pit and who didn't pit. So we're seeing that. Okay, Bottas, Magnussen, Perez, Sainz, Leclerc all didn't pit. And then everybody else has pitted. Everybody else has pitted. Ocon is very well positioned in 9th place, I have to say. Having not pitted, let's say all those cars in front of him do pit. That would put Ocon into 4th place. Amazing. Really good for Ocon, I have to say. It looks really good for Ocon. All right, we're just waiting for them to restart, and Verstappen is being tricky. Green flag is out, but he doesn't need to go until the safety car line, isn't that right? So he's playing it cool at the moment. Hamilton, I'm sure he's tempted just to put his foot down and try and second guess when Verstappen is going to go. Verstappen is one of the only cars weaving out there. Leclerc is also weaving. Yeah, get the heat into those medium tires, Leclerc, because you have some overtaking to do now. You have some overtaking. And he's off. Yeah, there he goes. Hamilton was caught sleeping a little bit. Hamilton didn't stay with him, but Alonso now is right on the tail of Hamilton here. Bottas, yeah, I was thinking, how did the Ferrari get behind the Haas? But that's Bottas in his very Ferrari-like red and black Alfa Romeo. No overtakes, but let's see if anybody's under pressure here. All right, very civil, I have to say, very civil. Sean Og, yeah, Sargeant is out. It looks like an engine failure for him. He just completely lost power and had to pull over. And we had a virtual safety car. I think that was like lap 5 or 6 or something. I was wondering if the other drivers were going to try a pit stop, but it was too early for that. Too early in the race, and actually the virtual safety car wasn't out for very long at all. If you can say out for the virtual safety car, if that's correct terminology. Ocon Team Radio, let's listen in.
Right, so it's officially been looked at by the FIA in terms of car positioning. Again, I'll let you know if there's any update.
Thank you.
We're staying in this position and we're carrying on from here. The 5 cars in front haven't stopped.
Yeah, but that's not fair. I'm going to stay behind now.
It's under investigation for overtaking under the safety car, so they could well get penalties. So okay, mate, head down.
Okay, I was wondering where that was going. So Ocon feels that he's been overtaken behind the safety car. Is that Norris on... yeah, it's Norris gets past Piastri. Oh, the fight back. Piastri got him earlier in the race, but now Norris has come straight back at him. I don't know. I think it's Ocon that's in danger of having a penalty. I'd like to learn a little bit more about this, but I don't have any information on it. Here's a replay now of Norris on his teammate. How does he get this move done at all? Oh, down the inside. Oh, cheeky move on your own teammate. Oh, very, very opportune. But my God, Piastri will be fuming. He'll be boiling. They don't make contact, but that was a dive bomb down the inside. He knew well his teammate couldn't do anything to him. Can't take me out. Piastri will be on the team. Okay, we've Norris on the team radio already.
Lando, for the first lap, it's the same rules of engagement as we had on lap 1 of the race.
He must be allowed to fight each other then. And here's Piastri. No, it's not playing. Hang on, let's try again.
Okay, that's Albon behind. Priority here is Albon. We need to keep him behind you.
Ah, okay. I was expecting Piastri to come on the radio, be raging about that. Now, what's going on with Leclerc? We have a replay. I need to keep my eyes on. Oh, runs it deep. Runs it deep. Runs a bit wide there into the hairpin. Ah, and the lock up. Well, those tires need to be changed anyway, but there's a flat spot. There's a oh, it's a horrible flat spot as well. Oh, Ferrari. You're going to end up he's going to end up in like 16th or 17th place when he pits. I just feel it. This is not good. This is not good at all. Right. So Verstappen is leading. no surprise there. Hamilton's in second place. Alonso is in third. He's about, let's say, 0.8 of a second behind Hamilton. So he's keeping him honest. Leclerc and Sainz seem to be battling each other and not really battling the cars in front of them by the looks of it. Piastri runs it deep. Oh, he just about hangs on to the position, but I think Albon is going to try and get him again. Albon gets him. Albon is past Piastri. Great move there for Albon. Fair and square as well. Yeah, McLaren are awaiting news on Norris. So Norris is being investigated for that unsafe release as well. So that's Norris and Hamilton that are being investigated for unsafe releases. Hamilton, of course, got a really big advantage by getting out ahead of Alonso in that pit stop. Alonso, of course, was behind him, but it was a slow stop for some reason from the Mercedes. And that gave Alonso the opportunity, but Hamilton was not taking no for an answer. He came straight out in front of him. So Magnussen dropped back behind Ocon and puts Ocon up into 7th place. So that must have been the issue. Well, Bottas gets past Magnussen now as well. Of course, on the fresher rubber, Magnussen hasn't pitted, per my understanding. Yeah, I think Magnussen hasn't pitted. That's right. Norris gets past Magnussen as well. Oh, Magnussen's having a pretty bad lap, I have to say. Pretty bad lap. Here's a team rater. This is probably where they told him he has to give back the position to Ocon.
Okay, Kev, we need to drop a place back behind Ocon. We need to drop back behind Ocon. So safety car, pit lane, exit, infringement.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something to do with overtaking behind the safety car. I thought Ocon might have actually be culpable there for a little while, but it seems that it was Magnussen who overtook Ocon, possibly. I think we're finally solving the issue here. So pit exit incident involving cars 31, which is Ocon, 77, which is Bottas, and 20, Magnussen. Reviewed. No further investigation. Positions given back. Okay, everybody's handed back their positions, so they're off the hook. So I think we're clear, which means Ocon is in a great position here. So Ocon now is running in 7th, but in 6th place we have Perez, 5th Sainz, 4th Leclerc, and none of them have pitted yet. Ocon has pitted, so he's in a great position. Yeah, it was very sensible by the FIA. You guys sort it out, and we won't take action, and they didn't. So very good, very very good. Right, we're lap 22 of this race. I feel like it's only just started. I'm quite enjoying it. Love the Canadian Grand Prix though, so I always have the Canadian Grand Prix tinted glasses on when I'm watching this race, much like the Monaco Grand Prix tinted glasses. It's usually the most boring race in the world, Monaco, not Canada. And I still somehow enjoy it. I don't know how. Just as long as you don't put Serena Williams on the interviews at the end, I'll be perfectly happy. On board here with Alonso, he has the fastest lap. Actually, he has the fastest lap. Very close to Hamilton here. He's going to try it down the inside. I think he's got him. Can he get it stopped? Yes, he's got it stopped into the chicane. Alonso's up into second place. And he's still got DRS as well, so Hamilton isn't able to fight back the way he wants to. Hamilton looks very fiery here. He's not happy about this. He's going to try and hit back as soon as he can. Now, can Alonso gap him, though? That's the question. Can Alonso gap him? Doesn't look like... No, Hamilton's definitely staying in touch with him here. Magnussen has overtaken Piastri by the looks of it as well, just looking at the standings there. That's for 10th place. Alonso has built up a tiny bit of a gap now on Hamilton. That's a great move down the inside, very late braking from Alonso. Perfectly, like through the eye of a needle into that final chicane. And with that wall there, you have to be very, very careful. Very careful. Now Alonso needs to chase down Max Verstappen. See that, Sean Oak? He's too fast. Blink of an eye, and Alonso is through. Give him one chance and he'll take it. Just one chance. Alright, Sainz says he has pace, but... Okay, yeah, he's just behind his teammate, and that's why he's saying that. So he wants to be released. Let him go. Let him go and chase down Hamilton. Leclerc is 1.8 seconds behind Hamilton, so they're not that far away from Hamilton, but... those tires on that Ferrari must be running out of rubber at this stage. And of course, Leclerc has that giant flat spot as well on his tires. Front tires by the looks of it. Okay. Hamilton and Alonso, the unsafe release. No further action. And also for Norris... unsafe release, no further action. There you go. There you go. Gosh, they don't want to penalise anybody today. There's great opportunities here for the more naughty drivers if they wanted to get up to something, some mischief. So Leclerc signs those medium tires now are 23 laps old. They need to be thinking about changing these soon. Maybe Ferrari knows something I don't. Turn 10 incident involving Norris noted. Driving unnecessarily slow. That's a weird one. That sounds more like something they'd investigate during qualifying, not during a race. You don't want to be going slow at any point in a race. Yeah, that 0.5 of a second. Gold for Alonso. Gold for anybody with DRS. I was wondering, though, the Mercedes versus Mercedes engine, if he was ever going to be able to get the move done. But, yeah, it was just enough. And, yeah, so Piastri fighting here with Magnussen. Piastri's past Magnussen. Now Albon is battling with Magnussen. Let's do a rundown. So Russell is in 19th, which is essentially last place because Sargeant is out of the race. He was able to catch up to the back of the field because, of course, the safety car was out for so long. So that was good news for him. He's still running in last place, so not quite brilliant news. But that car is running amazingly. He smashed that into the wall and is still running. So that Mercedes is a tank. Okay, they're telling Leclerc that they need a clean and fast stint, and Sainz will not attack him. So we didn't hear the response back to Sainz, but I'm guessing based on that they said no. Leclerc is our man. Right, so Russell's in 19th, Gasly's in 18th, De Vries 17th, Stroll 16th. What's going on with Stroll? Hulkenberg 15th, Zhou 14th, Tsunoda 13th, Albon 12th, Magnussen 11th, Piastri is in 10th, 9th is Norris, Bottas 8th, Ocon 7th, Perez 6th, Sainz 5th, Leclerc 4th, Hamilton 3rd, Alonso 2nd, and Verstappen leads the race. That's a surprise. 3.4 seconds between Verstappen and Alonso. Perez is 3.2 seconds, 3.3 seconds behind Sainz. What's going on? What's going on with Perez? Just not at the races today by the looks of it. Well, he's very firmly in the top 10, but still. Yeah, Sean Oak, yeah. He's definitely gapped him, and it's 1.5 seconds at the moment out of DRS. Good. Okay, well, I'm not so worried about that because actually I'd prefer if they stayed closer together. At least we could have a bit of a battle. But if Alonso's going to chase down Verstappen, that's perfectly fine by me. No sign of rain or anything like that by the looks of it. Now, here's Albon trying to get past Magnussen. No, hasn't worked for him this time. Magnussen has DRS, so Magnussen clearly... Oh, Albon's going to try something here around the outside. That won't work. Just letting Magnussen know that he's there more than likely. Alright. Well, it was worth a shot. Worth a shot, but no hope of that working. Not a hope. What are you talking about? Not a hope in hell. Righty-o. Let's check in on... I think the Nations League final is on as well. I could be wrong. Pretty certain the 3rd, 4th place playoff was on earlier. Soccer. Oh, Ruben Neves is moving to Saudi Arabia. Sorry, this is not Formula 1 related at all. Not Formula 1 related. Italy came 3rd. Alright. I don't know when the Nations League final is starting. It might be... Oh, it could be any time now. It could be usually around 8 p.m. Now, here is Norris putting the pressure on Bottas. He can't get it done this time. Albon on Magnussen. No, can't get it done. Oh, Stroll gets pushed off the track by Hulkenberg. Well, was he coming into the pits or did he get pushed into the pits? That's the question. Why is he pitting again? Had he not pitted? I tell you, if Stroll hadn't pitted, that is insane. Okay, Stroll has put on the hard tires, but that's incredible. So oh, he has pitted. That's his 2nd pit stop. Is he going to the end of these hard tires? What's happening with Stroll? This is a really bad race from him. Why is he pitted again? Yeah, but they're saying on Sky Sports maybe they're just trying to get him into clean air and kind of out of that DRS battle that was going on. And, it can come back to him later in the race, but he has to go for 41 laps on those tires. "41 laps. That is a few too many laps, if you ask me. Yeah, Croatia versus Spain is... it's kicking off in 1 minute, actually. 1 minute. Albon finally gets past Magnussen. That was a long time coming, I have to say. A really long time coming. Here's the Sainz team radio.
And switch right.
Happy models. White box. Not yet.
Stay out.
He's happy in Modex. What the hell is Modex? Wait box, not yet. All right. So he doesn't want to pit yet. I've at least deciphered that much. They are running now 29 laps on those medium tires. So it's a strong showing from Ferrari. I'm still highly skeptical of them not I was just looking at the Lance Stroll stop there. Did he go, was he too fast in the pit lane there? I don't know if he's been investigated. Nothing has popped up about him being investigated. Yeah, Leclerc and Sainz. I don't know. I just don't know, Ferrari. I don't know what you're going to do. Let me go to have a look at the tracker on my other screen because it's a bit bigger. Yeah, they're in big trouble when they pit. They're in big trouble. They're falling so far back. I got to tell you, they're in big trouble. You know, they could be battling with Russell. That's how bad it's looking at the moment. Piastri, Team Radio.
We still think plan A. Plan A.
All right, they still think plan A. 4 seconds the gap between Verstappen and Alonso, so unless Verstappen's going to put it in a wall or have an engine failure, I don't know about this. Oh. Verstappen says he's losing grip with this tyre, so Verstappen is not too many laps old, that hard tyre. I know they're definitely going to stop again and put on more hard tyres. So it's really crazy to think that Lance Stroll is going to go to the end of the race on these. As I said, 41 laps. He just pitted 2 laps ago for his second pit stop. Williams are very happy with that overtake on Magnussen, and saying now that Albon is free to chase after Piastri. Well, he's 2.2 seconds away from him. So Verstappen leads Alonso 4.4 seconds behind him. Hamilton then is 2.4 seconds behind Alonso. Leclerc 3.2 seconds, 3.3 seconds behind. I swear to God, every time I say 3, I'm sounding very Irish now, but it changes to 3.3. Sainz 1.7 seconds behind Leclerc. Perez 3.9 seconds behind Sainz. Ocon is 7 seconds behind Perez. Bottas 2.2 seconds behind Ocon. Norris is 1.2 seconds behind Bottas, and Piastri is 3 seconds behind his teammate Norris. And then Albon is 2 seconds now behind Piastri, so he's got 2 seconds on him already. So he has a little bit of speed. Everybody on the circuit now is running on hard tires, with the exception of the magnificent, speedy, prancing dark horses Ferrari. And I've got to tell you, they're not going to look so speedy when they're caught up in all that traffic in the mid to back field of the race. I just don't know what their plan is here. I really don't. Surprise me, please, Ferrari. Maybe it's a one-stopper they're going for. Could they do a one-stopper? That's definitely worth considering. Let's get the pit strategy back up on the screen here for a second now. All right, so a one-stopper, yeah, lap 20 to 27. We're on lap 32. They could go all the way to the end, according to Pirelli. Now, this graphic is from Pirelli. And this is pretty much what Lance Stroll is doing. So Ferrari could one-stop it from here, and I think then if you think back on the message we heard from Sainz, he just wants to run a bit deeper so that he has less time, I guess, on the hard tires. Then they'll be fresher towards the end of the race. Still not convinced it's the optimal strategy, but I feel a little bit better having looked at that graphic. A little bit better. I should have worn my Ferrari t-shirt today. That's probably bad luck for them. Then again, everything's bad luck for Ferrari these days. Must have been very bittersweet for Leclerc watching as the Ferrari Le Mans team, what do you call them, endurance team, won the Le Mans 24 hours. It was last weekend, wasn't it? Yeah, it was last weekend. They're kind of out of the hypercar class for ages. They come back and they win it, and they can't do anything like that in Formula 1. It's crazy. Craziness. Speaking of other racing, I don't know if anybody witnessed the MotoGP today. Now, that was a good race. I tell you, those two guys, isn't it Jorge Martins? Yeah. And Bagnaia. Whew, what a race between them. What a race. That was great motorbikes. Great motorbiking. I'm using the wrong verbiology here. Now, this is on board here with somebody behind Magnussen, so that would be Tsunoda. We haven't seen much of the AlphaTauri at all today, I have to say. Not much of them. But he's 0.6 of a second now behind Magnussen. So he's going to attempt. Has Magnussen pitted yet? No, Magnussen still hasn't pitted. He's on the hard tyres at least. He'll definitely be going for a... Well, no, he can't go for a one-stopper, can he? Because he needs to change compound. He can't go back onto the hard tyres because he'd have only run on one compound today. Magnussen actually is finding himself in a spot more bothered than the Ferraris right now, I dare say. Gasly, who started on soft tyres, is on the hard tyres now. Here's Gasly himself into the pits. So he'll be putting on hard tyres again, I guess. Yeah, those are hard tyres, and he'll be running to the end, lap 34. Now, I expect Ferraris in any time now. Now, there's a shot of George Russell. So he's, what is his lap time like? Russell's up into 15th actually, 117.9. He's going... Well, Stroll is going faster behind him. And Hülkenberg is going faster behind him. But De Vries, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Albon, Piastri, all of those are running in 118s, so they're actually slower than him. So those guys are making a charge from the back. This race isn't over yet. Well, it's possibly over at the front, but it's not over beyond first and second. I don't think Alonso has second wrapped up yet. Alonso still has the fastest lap, by the way. Still has the fastest lap. Oh, Magnussen and Tsunoda, wheel to wheel. Oh, and Russell is going to try and sneak through. Russell gets them both. Very opportune there for George Russell. It's like a dog with a bone. Oh! De Vries, no. What have you done? That's not De Vries, that's Tsunoda, no? No, it's De Vries. Ah, De Vries ran it deep, and Magnussen couldn't take the corner because of it. So he basically forced him off the track. Now we've yellow flag, and we have a Haas reversing out. De Vries is going to reverse out as well, but that's ruined Magnussen's race. What's the delay, Magnussen? Kevin? What's the delay, Kevin? Why are you not getting back onto the track? Oh, there was a car coming. He exactly picked the wrong moment to go back onto the track. They cut away from that, unfortunately. Ferrari. Oh, Ferrari. They thought that was their opportunity for the pit stop. That could have been magic for Ferrari. Around come the Ferraris now. De Vries is going to get up and running again. Across the grass he goes. Okay, into turn one. Magnussen and De Vries, yeah, they're making contact. A little bit of bodywork, it looks like, came off Magnussen's car. But Magnussen stays ahead of De Vries after the turn one coming together. And then it was down into the next corner where... Yeah, De Vries tries to take... And there, of course, is George Russell gets past them both in the process of that. But then De Vries tries to take him down the inside, yeah. He locks it up. He can't get the turn done, and Magnussen can't turn either as a result. De Vries lost way more time in that instant. They make contact actually. So Magnussen did try to make the turn. We don't have a team radio for that yet either. I really want to hear a team radio for that. We do have a team radio for Ocon though.
There's a few cars switching to 2 stops now. We're still thinking plan A.
Ocon is on a one-stopper, is he? Interesting. He's going to go a very long way then. His tires are 23 laps old. Wow. Perez are 36 laps old. He hasn't pitted yet. Who's this? Ocon. Oh, Ocon's just... What are they doing to us on the team radio? They are tricking us. They're tricking us. Look, Sean, I agree with you. He's going to go for it. Probably on the last lap of the race as well. He'll be going for it. if he can gap Alonso enough, he'll come in for soft tires or something crazy like that and go for this. It's classic Verstappen. Lando Norris, Team Radio. All right, Lando, what you got to say?
And Lando, do you think the rear tyres are recovering?
No, they're getting worse.
Lando, if we think the tyres aren't going to recover, then we will box this lap. I want your feedback.
But it's impossible for me to know if they're going to cover. I don't know.
Okay, so Lando, we will have to overtake possibly 6 cars. But if we genuinely think, they're not going to recover, this might be our best option rather than just falling out of the race. We will box this lap if you think this is true. Box this lap if you think I'm right.
He didn't box, did he? No, he did box. And I'm just seeing now that Norris has a 5-second time penalty for unsportsmanlike behavior. So this was the slowing. I don't know what the incident is. I'd love to see it. Piastri's in now as well. Okay, that was a good stop. 2.4 seconds. Great stop. Not the 2.3 seconds we saw earlier from Verstappen, I think. Yeah, as if he needs it. But there you go. Now he'll be out just ahead of Hülkenberg here. Yeah, and Piastri stays ahead. Sainz is going to come in. Norris, yeah, it's confirmed. It's on the screen now. 5-second penalty. Oh, I don't know, Lando, what you've done. Yeah, Sainz is in. Finally pitting here on lap 39. So he can go onto the hard tires and remain on them now for the rest of the race. This can work for him. This can work very well for him. Hopefully. That's what we're hoping, isn't it? It's definitely what we're hoping. 2.8 seconds. That's a slow stop. Ferrari. Gee. Just zip it up. I'll zip it up. I won't say anything. Sainz comes out. It looks like he's pretty comfortable there. It'll be... Wow, he's come out in 5th place. That couldn't be right, is it? He has. He's come out in 5th place. They found a gap. Ferrari making me look stupid here. They found a gap. Amazing. So he's ahead of Albon. Ferrari. I may have to send a letter of apology after this race. Now, whether or not, look, oh, those are dark clouds. How many laps have we left? 30 laps. Those are very dark clouds we're seeing over the back section of the circuit here. Albon has gotten past Perez. But I think it's only a matter of time. Yeah, Perez has DRS here. There he goes. It's not a huge surprise, I suppose. Albon was ahead of Perez on track before the initial pit stops. So it kind of equalized it somewhat. Actually, you could argue that, well, Perez should be going much faster than he is. I don't understand his lack of pace. But I'm having one of those races, though. All my calls are completely wrong. So maybe Perez will just pump in the fastest lap now after saying that, because Ferrari seem to be proving me wrong. I'm very happy about it, I got to say. Leclerc has pitted, has he? Yeah, Leclerc has pitted. They haven't shown us on the screen. For God's sakes, they haven't shown us on the screen. What's going on? But yeah, I can tell you, Leclerc has pitted and he has come out ahead of Sainz. Okay, so normal service has been resumed. And Hamilton's about to pit here. Hamilton's about to pit his second stop. All right, so Hamilton is coming in. I wonder now, Alonso. Is Alonso in danger of being undercut here? No, well, indeed. I'm just seeing it on the Formula 1 feed at the moment. Will Aston Martin react? That's kind of what I was getting at. Will Red Bull react? Don't think it matters if Red Bull react. 117.2, 117.4. So Alonso is actually lapping faster than Verstappen at the moment, but He's 5 seconds back from Verstappen. That's not a huge gap, but he's not going to catch him, like, unless Verstappen starts putting in some very bad laps here. De Vries and Magnussen is under investigation, causing a collision. I think that's well, whether it's for the first corner or the next one, I don't know. ET Ranger says that Perez has just done a 1:16.7. That is fast. That is, yeah, 1:16.7. There you go. Yeah, he had DRS to get past Albon. I'm making excuses, of course. Alonso was pitted, so he's in, and he's off. That was give me the clock on that one. 2.6 seconds. Okay, not blisteringly fast, but not awful. Not awful. Right, well, Perez is in net 6th position now, I reckon, so it's time to get down to business. And Sainz has just set the fastest lap. 1:16.4. Good. Now Perez Perez has just set the fastest lap at 1:16.41, so it was 4.3 versus 4.1. Yeah, box for Verstappen, so they're calling him in. Sainz is lapping. Sorry, that's Leclerc and Sainz both lapping cars. It was Magnussen by the looks of it. Again, could it be Magnussen again? No, they must be lapping Hülkenberg. Now Verstappen is in. That was nice. 2.7. Oh, a little bit slower than last time around. Shouldn't be an issue. Shouldn't be an issue at all. And he comes back out and he has all the space in the world. Looks like he's gained time. So it's reading at 7.6 seconds at the moment. The gap between himself and Alonso was 5 seconds before the pit stops. He's on medium tires though. Medium tires there. That's interesting. Hamilton actually did medium tires as well. So Hamilton and Verstappen are planning to go to the end of the race on medium tires. Alonso has stayed on hard tires. So we have a mixed strategy going on here. This suddenly got very interesting. Will the medium tires, they have 27 laps to go. They could start falling off towards the end of this race. But now, so Perez, a 1:16.14 fastest lap. I think next time around we could see Verstappen pump in the fastest lap. Team radio here for Lando Norris.
Lando, we have a 5-second penalty. So we'll want to try and build the gap on the cars behind him.
I'm pushing as much as I can.
Lando, I got to say, your attitude really stinks these days. He's so bad on the team radio. Is it just me? He's gone really bad on the team radio these days. Okay, Leclerc just being told that Sainz, his teammate, won't attack him. So it's go for it, Leclerc, in other words. Put your foot down. Gasly gets past Hülkenberg, and that puts him up into 14th place. Stroll, by the way, is running in 12th now, so he's not too far outside the points positions. 1.4 seconds behind Norris. And of course, Norris has that 5-second penalty. So as it stands, he's kind of more or less in 11th place. And then Bottas is a further 1.7 seconds up the road, actually. 1.7. Yeah, it's been picked up on that Ferrari are using team orders today. I don't think they're very unreasonable team orders. They probably just want a strong points finish for both cars here. There's Perez coming through one of the back markers. It's is it De Vries or Tsunoda? That's the question. Fastest lap now for Hamilton. on the medium tires. So Verstappen hasn't put in that fastest lap that I was expecting just yet. Actually, he hasn't put in any fastest sectors even. Hamilton had the fastest first sector. Alonso would want to start watching that gap. Alonso now, his gap with Verstappen is down to 4.5 seconds. Hamilton is 4.8 seconds behind Alonso. This has gotten really interesting all of a sudden, I really must say. Just keep watching those sectors for Verstappen. Maybe he's just taking a little bit more time to get the tires up to temperature. Keep an eye on Hamilton as well. The fact Alonso is on hard tires, once again, it was a bad pit call from Aston Martin last time out at the it was Monaco, wasn't it? Was it Monaco where they had a bad call about... No, it was the last race, Spain. They had a bad call on the tires, and they really shouldn't have put Alonso on the tires that they did. They put him on the dry weather tires, if I remember correctly, and everybody else went onto the intermediates. So they tried to be a little bit too smart. But this is fascinating now, the way they've put Alonso on the hard tires, and then both of his competitors are on the medium tires. As I said, with at that point there was about 30 laps to go, so could be the correct call for Alonso, or it could be dramatically wrong. All right, team radio for Max Verstappen.
There is a bit of a race on behind us, so yeah, people are pushing a lot more than you for the moment.
So that's what it is. Verstappen isn't even pushing. There had to be something. Great Hawk, welcome to the channel. Thanks for sharing the feed and your commentary. Will you be covering qualifiers too? Missed you yesterday. I usually don't do qualifying. I try to do sprint races whenever we have sprint races, but yeah, the qualifying, it's just... Actually, it's family reasons. My son loves watching it with me, so we watch the qualifying together usually. And he's young and he's very happy if there's a big crash, so he has something to talk about. But we're all young children deep down inside. Now, what am I looking at here? This is Russell on... Why am I not finding it? Family first, indeed. Yeah, it's got to be the motto of life, I have to say. Sean Oak. Yeah, Sean Oak has clarified it was Monaco. All right. I was thinking rain in Spain. Could that possibly be true? I think there was rain. No, there wasn't rain in Spain. Oh, I don't know. I'm losing my mind. It's all these Verstappen wins. They've all kind of merged into each other. That's the problem here. So that's Russell for certain, and that's Albon. You know what? I was looking way too far down the grid. I couldn't find Russell. I was looking towards the back. He's up into 8. So that's an amazing recovery. Hamilton's gone even faster again, has he? 1:15.8. Wow. He's beaten him by 0.02 of a second. Craziness here. Craziness. I mean, he's beaten Alonso. Good spot, Mr. Tom. If I'm seeing your username correctly. Hamilton now he's 3 seconds behind Alonso. Alonso, it's back to 5.4 between himself and Verstappen. So Verstappen's had a bit of a hurry up. All right. Oh, Alonso's being told to lift and coast. $1:15.3. Oh, wow. He is pumping them in there, isn't he? He's pumping them in. This is great, though, for the race. But this is bad for Alonso. Gasly was 11 centimeters away from the wall there. Now, so Alonso has to coast a bit more. So he's low on fuel. He doesn't have enough fuel as it stands at the moment to get to the end of the race. Coming to your comment, Sean, I think it's the tire factor here is the big one. how will these medium tires be, towards the end of the race? That's essentially 30 laps old. Russell trying again on Albon. Gosh, even with the DRS, he can't get close to him. It's possible his car is somewhat compromised with bent suspensions and everything else like that, but what a comeback from Russell to be back in 8th place. Messerham, this is interesting, no doubt about it. This is great. I'm really enjoying this. Can they catch Verstappen? Well, the tyre situation makes you feel like maybe it's possible. We have team radio for Lance Stroll. Where's Lance Stroll at the moment? He's running in 12th. Okay, yes, I remember now.
There's a lot ahead still to get.
I know, but I'm losing tyre grip now.
All right, well, he's worried about grip. Alonso told his team, I want to win the race. He has a one-track mind at the moment. But how is he going to win here? The gap to Verstappen isn't closing. And he will have Hamilton for company soon. Yeah, well, if Hamilton keeps putting in the times that he is. Let's check last time around. Hamilton was just under 0.3 of a second faster. Alonso has put in a very fast at 1:15.8. Hamilton puts in a 1:16.1. So they're matching each other at the moment. 3.4 seconds is the gap between them right now. That's the gap. Let's see. Croatia versus Spain. 25 minutes in. It's 0-0. 0-0. On board with Tsunoda here. What's he going to do? That is Magnussen, is it? No, it's Hülkenberg. He gets past Hülkenberg on the back straight. Beautiful move through the chicane as well. Very nice. Look at that. You can see it like visibly on the screen now how close Hamilton is to Alonso. It's still 3.4 seconds, but on that back straight now they look very close to each other. I said it earlier. Hamilton always seems stronger towards the end of the race as well. So his fight back is on here. Yeah, okay. A couple of comments here from Messerham. Yeah, Hamilton closing in on Alonso. I think given 19 laps going, yeah, it's certainly heating up here, and the tires are going to be a huge factor. Hamilton is stronger in sector 1 and sector 3, and Alonso stronger in sector 2. Let's see. That's crazy that Alonso will be faster in more of the turns. Yeah, well, they've brought new updates to the Aston Martin this weekend, so perhaps they have the aero package now for going through the corners. Gridhawk says next season without tire warmers will be in such conflict with FIA trying to keep racing safe. That's a very good point. I think we're going to see drivers having to go a lot more slowly and take care, but definitely you could imagine somebody sliding straight off the track. I wonder if that's going to apply as well to wet weather. I guess it will. They're completely gone, per my understanding. I'm kind of excited about it, but I don't know. I don't know if it's the be all and end all in terms of rules, but we'll see how it works out. Yeah, Sean Oak wants Max to become acquainted with the Wall of Champions. I don't believe Max has ever had the pleasure of the Wall of Champions, but he's not a real world champion until he's done it, so he kind of needs to do it at some point. Mercs will bring major updates in Silverstone. Yeah, they probably will. The whole cost cap and everything else like that. I always feel like Mercedes, either they're swindling the cost cap, which they're not. I'm not making any claims, or they're just a lot more efficient than other teams with their updates. You could make the same argument for Red Bull, but we know for a fact that Red Bull have breached the cost cap. They did that last season. Wasn't that last season or the season before? They've definitely been convicted and had an agreement in place with the FIA for their punishment for doing that. But Mercedes seem really bang on. Aston Martin I'm very interested in because they have a lot of money now and they're pumping a lot of money into this car. I think Lawrence really wants his son to do very well in Formula 1, and of course the pressure they're getting from Alonso as well. They know they have a fast car. Will they be able to keep up with Mercedes and Red Bull in terms of development for the season? I don't know. And then of course McLaren have had a good comeback, I think, from where they were at the start of the season. They'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on as well, but I would imagine with the wind tunnel additions coming in, was the last race I think, they'll have spent quite a large amount of their budget for this year already, possibly. Now let's listen to George Russell Team Radio.
Don't think we're going to be able to pass with their straight line speed.
Okay, copy that. So your focus right now needs to be on this brake, front left brake.
Verstappen's medium tyres are 10 laps old. Hamilton's are 12 laps old. Perez's medium tyres, I missed that. Perez went on to medium as well, are 15 laps old. And Alonso, I think Alonso's is 10 or 12, but he's on the hard tyres. So no sign of those tyres dropping away yet. One positive, Messit Ham is saying, one positive about the W14 is that they have good straight line speed than W13, but slow in the slow corners. Yeah, it seems to be that they have shed a little bit of the aero in favor of that straight line speed, because the straight line speed was really hurting them earlier on this season. You could see it. They were coming up behind even the McLarens, and they had no chance. They just couldn't get close enough to overtake, even with DRS sometimes. So they clearly picked that out as what they needed to concentrate on. So Formula 1 have opened their driver of the day voting. This is always an interesting one as to who's driver of the day. And when I look at the standings at the moment, obviously Verstappen and Alonso are right there. Hamilton is right there, but that's all from their starting positions. They started in the exact same positions they are right now. So I feel very hard pressed to give them driver of the day at the moment. There's still a long way to go, 16 laps to go still. Sainz has done very well, I have to say. He's well up. Russell, he put it in the wall. You can't give him driver of the day for that, but his fight back has been very good. Been very good. Yeah, oh, look at that. 2.2 seconds now, even 2.3 seconds between Hamilton and Alonso. It's getting very tight. It is definitely falling. That gap is falling. So we're going to have a great battle. And you know what? He could... Oh, that's Russell. I was wondering. Russell's just been lapped by Alonso. No, Stroll has gotten past him. So Russell has pitted again. Oh, no. He's going into the pits now. He has an issue with the car. That's why he dropped back. Okay, well, forget driver of the day for Russell. So he's out of the running for driver of the day. What was he ever in it? Here's the team radio for Russell. Maybe this is it.
So we think we're going to have to retire this car. The front left brake wear is too high.
Tell me what you want me to do.
So call the car, just call the brakes down, and we'll box end of this lap.
Oh, that's a shame. But I'm so surprised that he kept it running after that huge crash that he had. He really smashed that car into the wall. Hamilton was managing his tyres. He probably was. Well, if Hamilton comes on the radio to complain about his tyres, then he was definitely managing his tyres, because that's his MO. Mercedes, yeah, gutted that Russell is out of the race, but they have Hamilton in the podium position at the moment. 2.3 seconds now. Surprisingly, Verstappen never put in that fastest lap. I was expecting that, but he never did it. Maybe he's holding off. If he's going to the end on the medium tyres, he's going to have to be smart about this. That's for certain. Just waiting for Hamilton to come across the line now. 1:16.1. So slightly faster here than Alonso again. So he continues to eat away at that lead. Well, that gap. Not the lead. Alonso is not leading the race. So you see on the screen I have the race leader Verstappen. And so this is a graphic that I manually have to change. And it's been so long since I've had to change that graphic. I am convinced that the next time somebody else apart from Verstappen is leading the race, I will completely forget to do it. There is just no hope I'm going to remember that that I need to change that graphic, because I've just no practice of doing it at all this season. It's insane. First sector, Hamilton is 20.9. Yeah, the first sector seems to be making a difference for him. And then as he's 3/10 then in the third sector. The middle sector, the middle sector is very tight between them, but it's the first and third sector, as you said yourself, are the ones that are really differentiating Hamilton here. Now, let's do a rundown. So De Vries is in 18th and last place because Russell and Sargeant are out. Magnussen 17th, Zhou 16th, Hülkenberg 15th, Tsunoda 14th, Gasly 13th, Piastri 12th, Stroll is now in 11th. He is about 1.3 seconds behind Norris, and we know Norris has a 5-second penalty, so he's Stroll basically in 10th at the moment. But it is on the standings, it's Norris in 10th. Then Bottas in 9th, Ocon in 8th, Albon in 7th. Great race from Albon. Possibly there could be our driver of the day. Perez is in 6th. I'd love to say great race from Perez. He's certainly up from where he started, but you would expect that in a Red Bull. 6th still seems kind of disappointing. Sainz is in 5th. Leclerc is in 4th. Hamilton 3rd. Alonso 2nd. And Verstappen's 1st. Alonso now is 7.6 seconds behind Verstappen. And Hamilton then is 1.6 seconds. 1.6 seconds now behind Alonso. So what I was wondering earlier is, it could be possible that Hamilton catches Alonso, overtakes Alonso, but then Alonso's tyres are in better shape come the end of the race, and they could be battling on the last lap. Can you imagine that last lap battle? I don't think Verstappen is in danger, to be honest. Now, Leclerc team radio.
So compared to Sainz, we are faster everywhere except turns 8 and 9, losing around a 10th.
Losing around a 10th on turns 8 and 9. Good to know. Okay, so still Hamilton is faster than Alonso and Verstappen. Yeah. Will he? He won't catch Verstappen. That would be miraculous. That would put Hamilton on another level if he could do that, because the Red Bull is a better car. You always feel like at this stage that Verstappen has something in hand. Still 0-0 in the Nations League, by the way. Croatia and Spain. For anybody that's interested. That's all right, Mesotam. I did have to read it twice, but I figured well, the timing screens gave it away. The timing screens gave it away. I feel like we're kind of doing a collab at the moment. You're picking up on pretty much everything. That's very helpful, I have to say. Right, so we're on board here with Ocon. And Ocon now is 0.4 of a second behind Albon. Albon is, will he be able to hold on here? So hard tires versus, I think they're both on the hard tires, to be honest with you. Both on hard tires. I'm going to check the driver tracker on the Formula 1 app and see what tires they're on. So, yeah, they're both on hard tires. But Albon's tires are 47 laps old. Ocon's are 23 laps old. And this, we can see the overhead shot now. This is why Albon is basically the cork in the bottle here. There's a bit of a train going on. So Albon, Ocon, Bottas, Norris, and Stroll is apparently in this. I can't see him on the screen at the moment. There he is. There he is. Albon in that Williams, thinking he's still at Red Bull in 2020. Oh my goodness. Albon is one of those drivers that it does make me wonder if he had stayed in Red Bull. I don't think he'd be winning the world title, but I think would he be better than Perez? I think he could be better than Perez. But, you know, an awful lot of this comes down to mentality. And I never believed that the likes of Gasly and Albon had the right mentality when they were at Red Bull. They were under so much pressure to succeed, and it was real pressure cooker situation. Okay. Mercedes have just told Hamilton that Alonso has a rear brake issue. Rear brake. Rear brake issue. I wonder. I haven't heard anything now on the team radio from Aston Martin, but look at that gap now. It's 1.6 seconds. Mesatam, you have a question. All right, well, you can ask the question. I can try my best to answer. This is where I get found out when people start asking me questions. 8 seconds now between Verstappen and Alonso. So Alonso is definitely losing time here. What was his last lap? 116.19, 116.13 for Hamilton. So not dramatically slow by any means, but a 115.8 from Verstappen. So Verstappen has the speed at the moment, but of course he has... Oh, look at that for a question. Do you think Bottas is better than Perez? Let me think. I'm trying to level set in my mind because Perez is a bit older than Bottas, isn't he? He's been around in Formula 1 for a bit longer. Perez's major skill is he's very good with tires, and it hasn't been so much of a factor this season because the tires seem a lot more stable than previous seasons. But let me not get away from the question. Is Bottas better than Perez? It's a very tough one. I would say Bottas, yes, purely on the basis that Bottas in the Williams was very impressive. I thought Bottas was very impressive in the Williams. I know Perez had a good stint way back in the Sauber when he first joined Formula 1, but he didn't have such a good stint in McLaren, for example, and cars like that. Racing Point, sure, he was fine in Racing Point. I would just about give it to Bottas, but I think the big problem that both Perez and Bottas have, and we've seen this where they've been in title-winning cars, they don't have the consistency. Unlike their illustrious teammates of the past, or current, present, I guess, for Perez. Verstappen, 100% consistent, race to race to race. And then, of course, Hamilton was so consistent as well. Hamilton never really needed to worry about Bottas because he knew he'd get him back on consistency. Yeah, so I'm going to hand it to Bottas at the moment, but it's a tight one. Oh, our tracker is gone. Hang on, tracker has stopped working. I just need to refresh that, so it'll seem a bit weird for a second. And let's build in a lag. I have a 55-second lag because I'm watching Formula 1 on a streaming service. I figured that out last year, much to my annoyance. Okay, now, if Bottas goes to Red Bull, do you think he will overtake the number of wins that Max had last season? Bottas, well, if Max Verstappen is his teammate, no. But if Perez is his teammate, possibly. It all depends on who his illustrious teammate is. If he was the only Red Bull driver, no, he still wouldn't beat the record, but he could certainly come very close to it. Norris here is getting the move done on Bottas. Oh, Bottas has DRS now, but Norris still has DRS as well. I think Bottas can fight back here. Bottas must have heard us talking about him because he's getting very feisty here. Around the outside, I don't think that's going to work. Norris has the move done. Bottas has DRS still though, and now Stroll. Look at Stroll is right on the back of Bottas here, so Bottas is in trouble. Norris now has to try and break that 5 seconds. Stroll knows it as well. Stroll knows it, that he can't let Norris get 5 seconds ahead of him because of that penalty. Sean Og asks, why did it happen to Stroll? Could we not have hit Max off his bike in training? Max is too smart. He wouldn't be on his bike. He's too smart. He wouldn't be out on a bike. That he could injure himself. I'd say he's like... have you ever met musicians or composers and people like that who their fingers are very important to them? And, you know, you say to them, hey, do you fancy a quick game of basketball or something, one-on-one? They're like, no, I'm not doing that. I'd say he's a little bit like that. He basically spends all his time like playing racing simulators and things like that. He's getting better and better. Bottas should have stayed at Merck. Bottas should have stayed at Merck. For Bottas, he should have stayed at Merck. Yeah. I don't know if Merck would have had it. That's a tough one, because I think Russell moving into Merck was a good move. Certainly a good move for Russell, but Russell deserves the seat. Russell and Bottas, that would have been a really interesting mix. And part of me feels like Hamilton should have retired, but I can also understand Hamilton wanting to win that 8th world title. If Hamilton were to retire now, you could pretty much say he's kind of gone out on his peak, you know, and it never went sour for him. But if he lingers in Formula 1... Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. We need some sort of nerf to Max. There was, back in 1990... I don't know, was it 99? Maybe it was 2000. But Eddie Irvine was battling Mika Hakkinen for the world title. And Eddie Irvine, before the last race of the season, received a letter from a fan who was offering to like shoot a minuscule bullet into the tire of Hakkinen and take him out of the race. Irvine didn't take him up on the offer, and Hakkinen went on to win the world title. So there you go. Yeah, Verstappen needs to watch himself around the back markers. In particular, if he hasn't lapped Stroll yet. There you go, Stroll. Stroll could be the man. Oh, speaking of Stroll, here's his team radio for Stroll.
Going to get Bottas. You've got to stay 5 seconds to Norris and hope Ocon does something.
Wow. Asking the questions that we all want answered there. Go get him, Stroll. Go get him. Lance. Actually, you shouldn't speak to the boss's son like that. Stroll is locked up, going deep into the hairpin there, so he's losing a bit of time. Alonso has pulled back the gap to Hamilton. That's a good point. Let me see. So 3 seconds. Maybe those tires starting to fall away now for Hamilton, but Alonso is not making any ground or inroad into the Verstappen lead. There's 3.5 laps left. It's going to be a Verstappen win by the looks of it. But, you know, as you said earlier in the race, Sean Oak, it's all about who's coming second behind him. And at the moment, it's Alonso. Oh, yeah, that rear wing on the Alpine. So Norris was just on the team radio. Oh, this might be it. Hang on. Let's listen. It's just come up.
If this falls off and hits someone, it's going to be extremely bad.
Yeah, the rear wing on Ocon's car is really, it's moving. It's moving a lot. It's really wobbling here. I don't think that's normal. It must be broken. And Norris is going to be very opportune here. Firstly, he wants Ocon out of his way. But secondly, he's kind of worried that rear wing is going to come off and hit him. Now, it seems more stable under Dira. No, it's not. No, he was just on a very smooth part of the circuit there. And there's Albon ahead of them. So they haven't been able to get past Albon at all. I had high hopes for Ocon in this race, particularly after, just looking at how things were. Oh, Norris tries a dive bomb again, just like the one he did on Piastri earlier into the hairpin, but no, it doesn't work. Ocon hasn't had as impressive a race as I thought he might have been able to have here, but he's still in for good points at the moment. If he can get past Albon, though, his tires are so much fresher than Albon's tires. So much fresher. Now, we're looking at Norris. Yeah, I know, Norris, you're not going to get it. That rear wing on the Alpine, is it broken? It's hard to see. It's hard to see. Just as you get up close, he pulls away again. But it's definitely wobbling an awful lot. An awful lot. Now, Verstappen, 9.5 seconds ahead of Alonso. So he's actually strengthened that. And he set the fastest second sector. Maybe Verstappen is... Yeah, this is the time now where he'd be looking for that fastest lap. I think Verstappen's got to try and pump in a fastest lap here. Hamilton is 3.1 seconds behind Alonso. There's a look at those dark clouds. It's not going to rain before the end of the race. Not going to rain. Nico Hülkenberg. Nico.
Joe has the blue. He's got blue flag and he's attacking me. He's a joker.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah, Joe has received the blue flag. Oh yeah, it must be. Yeah, he's a back marker, but he's still attacking Hülkenberg. Hülkenberg not happy about that. He wants a bit of a breather, and Perez is pitted. Oh, he had the gap. Perez is pitted. He's going to go for the fastest lap here. I tell you now, Max isn't going to be happy, but Max doesn't have the fastest lap at the moment. I wonder if he's going to try and pump in the fastest lap here. So Verstappen could put it in the wall here if he pushes too hard. Yeah, Mazepin. Starting to fade, I'd say, those tires. They're still not too bad, but they don't have the speed that they had earlier on. Alonso's weathered that storm a little bit. It looks like it's been pretty comfortable for him. Max Verstappen, team radio, he's probably asking, what's the fastest lap?
Max, info, Checo in pit lane for a soft tyre.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not chasing the fastest lap.
Ah, okay. Well, there's no point because Checo is definitely going for it. Perez is in 6th. He'll get 8 points at the moment. That will be an extra point for him if he can manage this. We're just waiting for the inevitable here for Perez. Sorry, not Perez. If only for Verstappen to come around and win this race. He's cruising up here behind the that's Tsunoda, is it? Yeah, he's cruising up behind Tsunoda. He won't lap him here. And Verstappen wins the race. I'm so surprised. Well done, Max Verstappen. A very, very comfortable win once again. He's such a good driver. He's such a good driver. He is such a good driver. And Alonso comes home in 2nd. And Hamilton then comes home in 3rd. See, yeah, he's come home in 3rd. Now, Norris is going to try it here on Ocon. He's pushing hard, very hard, but he won't be able to get past. It doesn't matter anyway. He's a 5-second penalty, per my understanding. Norris going to try around the outside here. Oh, that's not going to work. Oh, he has to pull out of that one. No, it doesn't work for him, and he's lost a lot of time actually in doing that. He has lost a lot of time there doing that. Now, let me see. We go that far. Do. Bum. All right, sorry, falling behind on the comments here. Let me check that, and then we'll get the Max Verstappen team radio. Abdu is back. Hey, Abdu, how are you? I am good, thanks. How are you, Abdu? Good to see you again. And Dick is very happy. Of course, Max Verstappen has won yet again. I tell you, Max is going to be breaking the records here. Merck still has P2 in the Constructors' Championship. And Perez did get the fastest lap, ET Ranger. You're right, he did. A 1:14.4. And he sets the fastest first and second sector. He doesn't quite get the third sector, but it's enough for the fastest lap. And that's an extra point then for Perez. Now, let's listen to the Max Verstappen team radio. I expect it's going to be something like, that was very lovely. A very lovely win. When is the Dutch Grand Prix coming up soon as well? That is going to be a sea of orange when it comes up. That's crazy. I was looking back at pictures of last year's Dutch Grand Prix. Insane with the flares and everything. It's quite an intimidating atmosphere for all of the other drivers, especially Lewis Hamilton, I'd say. Didn't he get booed last year? I think Hamilton got booed last year. Anyway, let me stop blabbering and we can listen to the Max Verstappen team radio.
Well done, Max. Another good day at the office.
Yeah, not bad that. And also 100 win for the team, so that's a great result.
Yeah, well done, mate. That is, as you say, a century for the team. So fantastic, and thank you for producing that race victory for us today. Well done, mate.
Yeah, it was maybe not our strongest track with the conditions, but it's still a very good result. It's all good.
Scary words, not their strongest track. They still win it though. They still win it pretty easily. I guess Perez is more a testament to it not being their strongest track, but it just didn't work out for Perez in qualifying yet again. Trouble for Perez. But he's finished in a strong sixth and he has the fastest lap. I'm trying to see if I can get a team radio for anybody else. We have Alonso.
Well done, mate. Well done. We were nursing a little problem there, but he did a great job. I think without that little problem, Verstappen was doable.
I knew. Didn't want to say anything. Yeah, well done, guys. I'm happy. We gave everything again. And super pissed off.
Yeah, well done, mate. Great job.
That was a real chance for Aston Martin by the sounds of it. And so we didn't miss anything on the team radio at all. In fact, they just didn't. Alonso, that's how sly and clever he is. He just didn't want to say anything at all because he didn't want to give them the upper hand. But you know what? They had it figured out because Mercedes were onto it. They knew about the rear brake issues. There must be just something about the telemetry or something like that that gave it away for them. I can't find a team radio for Hamilton, unfortunately. I thought we might have that. We have Norris, though. Let's listen to what Norris has to say.
What was the penalty for?
We'll talk about it later.
Well, you can just tell me now.
No, I'll talk about it later.
Oh, I tell you, Norris, you want to go and see the boss for the way you talk to your team. But it sounds like they're giving it back to him in equal measures there. So maybe it's a mutual thing. Right, let me see. Very quickly, can we see the standings? Perhaps we can see the standings. I don't know if they've updated them. Have they updated the standings? Yeah, they have. They could be wrong. They could be slightly wrong, but let's get them up here on the screen. So on the right-hand side, as you can see, there is Max Verstappen. Then he's on 195 points. Perez is in second. He's on 126. So he's, he's basically 69 points behind his teammate, which isn't great at all. It's a bad state of affairs. Alonso is very close to Perez, though. Very close to taking second in the championship. He's on 117 points. And then we have Hamilton on 102 points. So the battle for second, just like on track, it's real. It's happening. It's alive. This is a really good battle. First, though, seems just kind of wrapped up already. And Verstappen, though, how many records is he going to beat this season? How many wins is he going to get? How many straight consecutive wins? It's there's a lot of excitement in that, at least, trying to see what he can do. Sainz then is, of course, he's in 50. He's moved up one position. Russell has dropped down and Sainz is up 68 points. Russell's on 65. And then Leclerc is all the way back in 7th on 54 points. A little bit different from last year. Stroll, that's disappointing that he's only down in 8th. He hasn't been living up to the potential of this car, I would say. But then again, Alonso is an overachiever. We'll check the constructors. No, I don't think they've updated that yet. But nothing major will have changed here. It's still Red Bull on top by a long way, and Mercedes in second with Aston Martin in third place. Ferrari will have maintained fourth as well, based on that drive. So that's where we're at. All right. Well, that was an enjoyable race. There was it was more of a what if race than anything else, because you keep on wondering what could have happened with the tires. In the end, the medium tires were absolutely fine to get to the end of the race, and the hard tires were absolutely fine to get to the end of the race. And despite Hamilton putting in some very impressive laps, it didn't really come to anything. Sean Stroll got Bottas. Did Stroll get Bottas? Let me see. Stroll, he did indeed. He got him, and Norris has been relegated to 13th place after the 5 seconds have been added on, as well as we can see there on the screen. So the final order then is where can I look for this? It's De Vries is in 18th place, Magnussen 17th, Joe in 16th, Hulkenberg 15th, Tsunoda 14th, Norris then in 13th, Gasly's in 12th, Piastri's 11th. No points for McLaren. Bottas in 10th, Stroll in 9th. Disappointing for Stroll, I would say. Ocon is in 8th, Albon is in 7th, Perez is in 6th, Sainz 5th, Leclerc 4th, Hamilton 3rd, Alonso 2nd, and Verstappen wins, of course. And welcome back to the channel, Anne says Stroll is as much behind his teammate like Perez is behind his. That's very, that's true. The two world champions, Alonso and Verstappen, and their wannabe teammates. I think, Alonso is never going to say anything bad about Stroll when you consider his employment situation. But that's a good observation once again. Disappointing from them both, I would say, Perez and Stroll. I'm disappointed in them both. I love to see Perez do well, I have to say. I don't love to see Stroll do well necessarily, but nothing against it. If he's going to win a race, great. If he wins a race before Alonso, it would feel very much like an Ocon situation to me, but Ocon was quite a match for Alonso. I think Alonso had kind of checked out on his final season with Alpine, though. Just the impression I get. Anyway, let's see. Did we get the Lewis Hamilton team radio? Doesn't look like it. Just checking back here. Magnussen, Stroll, Perez, Tsunoda, Norris. No team radio came up for Lewis Hamilton, unfortunately. I kind of wanted to hear that one. The interviews are on at the moment. So Hamilton says, it's been a great weekend for us. We are slowly chipping away. The Astons moved away with their upgrades, but we are bringing some more soon. We knew this wouldn't be our strongest circuit. We struggle on the low speed corners. We need to add rear downforce to the car, but I do believe we will get there at some stage. It's quite an honor to be up there with two world champions. Lewis, you're selling yourself short a little bit there now. Two world champions. He's a bigger world champion than any of them. Verstappen could very well overtake him, of course, but I don't think Alonso is going to win more than 7 world titles. Just call me crazy on that one. Right, I'm going to leave it there for now. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining once again. Really appreciate the support. Really appreciate all the comments as well. And I will speak to you more than likely at the next race. I'm hoping to be on for that. Have a great rest of your weekend, what's left of it, and a great week ahead. And I will speak to you very, very soon.